Cats on the Run, created by Benodeschi. One morning, when Doomslayer was on one of his morning strolls with Chrysalis, he encountered a weird portal. A portal that led to a civilization of cats. Now, this wasn't an ordinary civilization of cats. This was a civilization of bloodthirsty cats that weren't very nice. Chrysalis warned him not to go through, but he did anyway. And he then entered the portal. When he entered the portal, he felt an odd sensation in his body. He felt that all his bones in his body were being warped and twisted into odd shapes and odd things, like they were being stretched into a different shape. Then he knew that he was being transformed into a cat. A black cat with black eye sockets and yellow eyes and with blood and green stripes. He then met a cat running from a town called Ivy Pepper. Now, Ivy Pepper did not know much about her past, but she did know this. She didn't know that Doomslayer was not of this world, and she didn't know Doomslayer's name. And Doomslayer didn't know her name. He was as confused as she was. Then they both greeted each other, and she said that he was welcome to stay at her house for a few days. And over time, they grew more loving towards each other. And then things began to grow a bit sexual. And he got along with them just fine. He just didn't know how to communicate with them at first. Then came Blaze the cat and Rouge Bat, which was an odd occurrence because only cats lived in that universe, not bats. And they knew that Ivy Pepper and Doomslayer had some kind of relationship because they were holding hands. Well, they did most of the time, and they liked to hold hands, and they felt like it was their way of comforting each other. So they grabbed each weapon they could, crafted them out of copper and lava, and went to war. And this war was not a friendly one. This war was a deadly one. This war ended up in blood shackles and chains. Some could even say that it was down to the bone. Some lost loved ones, some didn't. And they got married, and they couldn't do a complete marriage. They could only say I do, because the rest of the cats were bloodthirsty, and they met a bloodthirsty they met a fox called Tails Rogers that first turned out to be a torn up corpse at first. But all was good after then. Then came one day when Doomslayer was encountered with this chance to stay at this world. He then said he had to go back to Ponyville. Ivy Pepper didn't understand what Ponyville was because she wasn't from there. And she just shaked her head in disapproval. But Doomslayer was set on not breaking Ivy Pepper's heart, so he stayed with her. But they managed to merge worlds in the end, and all was good. So I guess that was a happy ending, and I guess that was all good. So the Candyman finished them off. Finished up sitting off the end. Sorry that this was a bit short, but things like this happen. Check yous all later. Bandit out.